The Vanderbilt Ball of 1883 put all of the Met Galas to shame. Here's some of the most extravagant costumes worn by New York's high society of the day. For a brief history, it was thrown by Elva Vanderbilt to break into New York's high society that was dominated by the Mrs. Astor. Mrs. Astor and society expert Ward McAllister had created the famous List of 400. It was a list of the 400 people who were New York's high society, and the Vanderbilts, no matter how extraordinarily wealthy, were not on the list. So Elva built an enormous French chateau-style mansion on Fifth Avenue and decided to throw a housewarming party. But not just any party, the biggest, grandest party that New York had ever seen. Soon, Mrs. Astor's daughter Carrie found out that all of her friends had received invitations, but her invitation never came. Capitalizing on the complex social customs of the time, Elva claimed that since Mrs. Astor had never called on the Vanderbilt home, she could not invite Carrie. Mrs. Astor had no choice but to drop by and formally acknowledge the Vanderbilts. Carrie conveniently received her invitation the next day. It was a costume ball, and attendees spared no expense on their outfits. Miss Edith Fish dressed as the Duchess of Burgundy with real rubies, sapphires, and emeralds sewn into the front of her dress. Miss Bessie Webb dressed as Madame Le Diable in a red satin gown embroidered with a black velvet demon. The entire dress was also trimmed with little demon ornaments. Miss Kate Fearing Strong went as a cat, but bizarrely her hat was a taxidermied cat, and 7 cat tails were sewn onto her skirt. Elva Vanderbilt herself dressed as a Venetian princess. J.J. Astor, who met his fate on the Titanic, dressed as King Henry the Great of France. But the crown jewel was Mrs. Cornelius Vanderbilt II's electric light dress, complete with a torch that lit up. And remember, this was 1883. The entire ball was estimated to cost upwards of $6 million and went down as one of the most lavish balls of all time. So, which costume was your favorite? Let me know in the comments below.